All right. Very good evening and good morning to the participants that are present here. I hope my voice is audible, guys. Let me just quickly enable the chat for all of you so that you can also be able to chat. Okay, so that's enabled. Quick yes or no in chat would be great. Okay, great. I see. Okay, good. Not bad. Okay, we have Mr. Uday and Jai Chandiran. A very good evening, both of you. All right. I hope my voice is audible and clear, guys. All right. Thanks. Thanks. Okay. Great. Wonderful. Very good evening. Okay. So I see Mr. Sivaram, Mr. Uday, Mr. Vishwakumar, Ms. Anjali. Very good evening to all. Okay. So we will get started shortly. We're just waiting for some more of the audience to join us, and then we will get going. All right. So, guys, I want to quickly know something. Now, this is actually our second exclusive webinar with our speaker, uh, Mr. Chandrasekhar Pandey, who is currently backstage. He will join us shortly. What I'd like to know is how many of you are repeat attendees and how many of you are new attendees? A quick yes or no. You could probably say repeat or new on chat. That would be great. Okay. Okay. Vishwakumar is a repeat attendee. Uday is a new attendee. Good to see some new attendees. Okay, I see Mr. Surya's attend is second time. So, Mr. Surya, this is your second webinar with Mr. Chandrasekhar Pandey as the speaker. I'm guessing that's what you meant. Okay, I see the rest of them are all new. Okay, I see Ms. Soumya Narayanan, who's also a repeat attendee. Good to see that. All right, okay. Yeah, I got that, Mr. Surya. Right. Wonderful. I like the engagement and the comments that we're already getting, in fact, even before we started the webinar, which is good to see. Clearly, this will not be a one-sided webinar. We will have some interaction as we go forward. Now, before we start, as I mentioned, we'll start shortly. I just want to know what is it that you're expecting from today's session. Now, I know all of you received the invite mailer and you came across how one platform, right? One platform can help with both cybersecurity and compliance. What is it that you're expecting to hear in today's webinar is something that I'd like to know from the audience here today. Please use the chat. You can drop certain comments. And while we wait for a few more to start to join the webinar and we'll start off, let's have a small conversation on chat. Okay, I repeat the question. I'd like to know what is it that you're expecting from today's session? What do you think will be covered? We'd like to know what is it that you're expecting from today's session. Okay, all right. Okay, okay. I see Mr. Hemant mentioned exclusive offering by WebSol. More on that, Mr. Hemant. And I wouldn't comment on anything yet. I see Mr. Surya has mentioned areas of implementation, the future of cybersecurity. Okay. All right. The tools available. Yes. Ms. Soumya says to understand increased cyber threats. Yes, I think something that's very important is threat visibility rather than the whole proactive approach is to have a widespread visibility of what kind of threats can be there for your organization. So that is something that we'll crucially be talking about. And in fact, the platform that we have here with which Mr. Chandrasekhar Pandey will be talking about in depth clearly talks about that. Okay, Mr. Vinod, good evening. I see that you're a first-time attendee. Cybersecurity and risk management frameworks from Mr. Vishwakumar. Okay. Threat landscape. Yes, we will be talking about that, Mr. Sartaz. Okay. How can we integrate security and compliance in organization? How can we enhance security in an organization? Surely we'll be covering that, Mr. Uday. How to track compliance. Yes, I think we do have a couple slides on compliance, so we will be talking about that as well. All right, great responses, guys. This is good to see. So without any further ado, I think we will get started. I will quickly introduce myself. I am Siddharth Nandakumar. I handle product marketing at the company that I represent, which is WebSol, and I will also be your moderator for the day. So what I'm going to quickly do is I'm going to run you through a couple slides before I hand it forward to our speaker, who is also here at present, as you can see. What I'm going to do is about probably 5 minutes. What I'm going to do is take it and explain the company's background and to show you what we have on our portfolio. All right. So this is our journey as any other company would go across. We've evolved over the years, over the decades. We were in fact part of Wipro's domestic IT business. When I mean the IT business, we were primarily managing the printer side of things. That is your dot matrix printers, laser printers, excuse me, inkjet. All of this is something that we were taking care of. And over the years, the company actually decided to the division, sorry for that. The division actually decided to step out of Wipro and form a separate entity, that is a separate company in the name of Wipro e-Peripherals. So over the years, we pioneered our managed print services model. More on that as we move forward. And we also, with demand, obviously with market trends, market changes, consumer demands, we launched our digital services portfolio, which covers workplace, workflow automation, all of that. And fast forward to 2023, we actually underwent a complete brand refresh. We have an entirely new brand identity today in the name of WebSol, and we also have a refreshed product or solution portfolio. More on that as we move forward. All right, so quick highlights of the company and Sekions as well. We come with over 24 years of industry expertise, and we cover over 563 enterprise customers as of today. We're present in over 2,500 locations. All right, moving forward. Okay, a quick view of Sekion's clientele that you can see here. All right, so I'm going to try and cover this as soon as possible. Now, our solution portfolio goes by the name FluidWorks. Under this, we have an umbrella of offerings which covers a whole gamut, that is managed IT. You also have managed print services. That is also something that we take care of. And how do you track all your IT assets? That is something that is taken care by FluidMap. And we also have Fluid Trail, which is our state-of-the-art workflow automation solution. Now, I will not be covering everything. Now, let us focus more on the cybersecurity and managed IT end. All right, I'm going to leave this slide on for a while I talk about what Fluid Pro is. This is our managed IT services offering, where we clearly focus on modernization of your workplace experience, and that would involve IT infrastructure and eventually look at boosting your overall productivity. Now, under this, we actually provide a range of services which covers managed SOC, managed NOC, remote infrastructure management. We have a dedicated 24/7 team that actually sits in Bangalore at our head office, and IT infrastructure services, of course, and also IT asset management. Now, this is more on the cybersecurity management end. We also take care of some of the crucial things that you would have been hearing lately, that is vulnerability scanning, VPN testing. All of this is something that we also take care of. Now, on this end, I would actually leave it to our speaker who will talk more on this as we move forward. So I will save this up for later. All right, so that is a quick introduction of our offerings. Now, we will not have an entire demo as such during this demo, but we will cover a little bit of what we have on the cybersecurity end. But what I'm going to quickly do is launch a poll for you guys. Let me just launch a poll. Give me a second. All right, so I hope you're able to see this. we'd like to know if any of you are currently exploring some sort of managed IT services offering. It could be remote infrastructure management, it could be uh, SOC, it could be even NOC. If any of you are even at the slightest stage of exploring, we would love to help you. We would love to reach out to you and find out how we can help you. So you can, choose the right poll over here, and probably about 1 or 2 days, our team will be able to reach out to you and have a conversation. So ideally, what would happen is after this, we can probably arrange a short call for you with our technical team and understand your requirements. Excuse me. All right, I think I'll end the poll here. Thank you all for your time. Um, let's move forward. All right, so without any further ado, I think I have eaten up most of the time here. Sorry for that, but I think it's time that we introduce our speaker for the day, Mr. Chandrasekhar Pandey. I hope all of you are able to see him. Mr. Chandrasekhar Pandey is a renowned cybersecurity and IT expert with over 24 years of industry experience. As founder and CEO of Sekion Inc., he leads in developing cutting edge cybersecurity solutions to address today's complex challenges. Prior to Sekion, Mr. Chandra held pivotal roles, including GM and VP of Platform Solutions at PTI Systems, where he spearheaded the intelligent, secure Cloud Connect platform. His career spans senior leadership positions at Juniper Networks, Ciena, Lucent, and 3Com, which is now HP, where he led global teams in solutions, architecture, and engineering, driving billions in revenue through integrated security solutions. An interesting point to highlight, Mr. Chandra also holds multiple patents in areas such as application virtualization and scalable data center architecture. His extensive background and vision continue to empower organizations to protect critical assets in an increasingly connected world. I take great pleasure in introducing him on yet another webinar. This is, in fact, on demand that we've got him back on our webinar. I truly look forward to this, and I'm sure the audience is looking forward to hearing from you, sir. So over to you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. And thanks everyone for joining. And as it was requested, feel free to ask the questions and we will be more than happy to answer those, at the, in the middle of the presentation as well as towards the end. One thing also I was going to mention that I will show some of the real demo as well. So
Great.
a few minutes we'll spend on the demo as well.
Surely.
With that said, I just wanted to kind of share my screen.
Yeah, you
So
can go ahead, sir.
yeah, so what I'll do is just skip these things.
Yeah, you'll have to skip all these.
Yeah. Yeah, so one of the biggest thing is if you look into the cybersecurity, as it was pointed out, that what you have to kind of make sure that, it's as a cybersecurity professional or who is looking to look into the cybersecurity work with the compliance team and all that, your biggest kind of the challenge is the threat actors and APTs. That's what you have to look for there because your competition is against them. Your competition is not about that, hey, I got the best of the breed like endpoint security or SIM or SOAR or NDR because those things are not going to help you if you are not able to proactively detect those threat actor advances in your organization. And any silos product, no matter how best of the breed is, it will get bypassed. So that's why if you hear these days, every meaningful company is talking about that, hey, I have a platform, and that platform might have a different definitions for different people, but you just have to keep in that mind that what you are up against is the threat actors, not hey, I got NDR, our best EDR, our best antivirus, our best next gen SIM sure and all that. You don't have to look into that point of view. And as it is mentioned that stakes are very high, because once you have a breach, it's not only the cost in the millions, but you might have a lot of disruption into your operational point of view, damaged reputations, you lose a lot of customers. And then also is like one of the things you have to keep in mind is you might have lost intellectual property in the process, or your trade secret, or some confidential information which you do not want to be lost. And their big losses are not only about the ransomware payment, but there is an associated cost. And sometimes even you may not get the ransomware based on which kind of organization you are. So you might just get intellectual property stolen. If you are a, let's say, company which is doing the R&D to find out the best medicine for some of those uh, healthcare issues, which can be billions of dollars in value. If those are stolen, you have lost hundreds of billions of dollars. So you just have to keep that in mind as well. That is not only the ransomware and disruptions and the reputations and the associated costs, but there might be even bigger damages, which a lot of people don't think about it. And there is always a regulatory pressure from the global world. That's what basically pointed out. Definitely means like from the key things you have to know that, it's like from the cyber risk kind of like a point of view that perimeters are not anymore that, hey, you just protect yourself on the perimeters and you have taken care of everything, because perimeters are kind of diffused, because, and especially with the COVID, now people working from home, that is very common. And threats are evolving, threat actors are always very active into using that creative tools. And anybody who kind of like goes through and writes some rules and thinks that, oh, I write a rule based on that, I'm going to detect, they will just go and bypass those rules easily, because whatever you rule you write, they will kind of find out that, hey, how I can bypass it. It's not always easy to find a lot of budgets, and then the staffs there. Continued growth of regulatory compliance is just like every year you will see that new regulatory compliance coming, that being pushed in there. There are people who are pushing a lot of security tools, and those tools sometimes you think that, hey, by deploying it, they may also use scare tactics to get in there. And then you figure it out after putting those 5, 10, 20, 30. Sometimes some company have 200 plus tools. You are not any more secure. In fact, you are like less secure than if you had even less tools. So there is a big talk about consolidation of the security stack and creating a security mesh across your hygiene and your detection systems. Once again, you need visibility across your whole environment, whether it's on-prem, cloud, remote access. Everything has to be looked into the common context and situational awareness. If you don't have it, you are not going to be able to really manage your risk properly. And then, it's like data overload and alert fatigue. This is very common that every 18 months, amount of the data any organizations generates is doubling, sometimes even more than doubling. And then if you just keep on going into the traditional way of doing the security and have 10, 20, 50, 100 products, those will create so much noise that you don't know what to do and nobody knows what to do. So it's a lot of time. There are companies who spends billions of dollars as well per year on the security, they get breached. And now they come to realize that, hey, just buying those many products does not give you a better kind of like risk management capability. Definitely, our approach is that you have to have from the day one, when the Secyan started as a company, we said that only way you can solve the modern cybersecurity threat problems is you have to have a single platform which has to put everything from the common context and with the common context and have the situational awareness to generate the threats, alerts, which matters, and then you take actions to eliminate, contain that threat. So think about that. When we started 9 years back, many people will say, oh, you guys are trying to do nine company in one and so on and so forth. But at the end, if you didn't do that, you are not going to have a real kind of a security platform. You are just like, trying to create some, uh, it's like a product which might be better than the previous generation. So that is not the approach we took. And our goal was always detect the threat in the real time and also eliminate, contain the threat. So what does it means is you do not want the threat to go beyond. If you look into MITRE ATT&CK framework, you want to kill that particular threat in the first 5, 6 stages. So that way it's like nothing has been damaged. One thing I do wanted to share, because a lot of people always have heard that, threat actor has to be right one time and the defender has to be right all the time. That is true when you are working with the hygiene product, because which has to make a decisions in the real time whether to allow something or drop it if things are going through it. As we discuss, a lot of things get around it and get through it because you can just bypass the rules and all that in there. But if you are in the defend detection domain, you have a multiple opportunity where they have to be kind of try to hide you into the multiple stages before they are able to cause you any damage. So first they have to kind of like try to compromise a credential, they have to create a foothold, they have to discover the asset, then they have to collect the asset. So many things they have to do before they can cause any damage, exfiltrate any information, then kind of like, go and try to cause some damage and all that. So you have opportunity up to in MITRE ATT&CK. If you look into, I'll show that up to 6, 7 stages. If you kill that in the first those stages, then you have pretty much knocked them out and they have not been able to get anything. And then next time they are not going to come to your place, they will go somewhere else. So that's something I just wanted to point out. And the thing is also, it's like comprehensive cybersecurity does not have to be cost prohibitive, that hey, you are not able to kind of like, like afford to have it. And it has to be very easy to deploy. You don't have to be a solution where you are spending tons of like, resources, as well as you spend tons of like, it's like money to buy it and is still not able to deploy it. So it has to be, if you cannot easily deploy, use it effectively, then it's wasted money. And you don't want to have a solution which cannot be easily deployed and run effectively. So our approach from the day one has been that you have to have a holistic approach to the cybersecurity. So you pretty much kind of analyze every like layer. If you look into OSI layer, a TCP layer, OSI, like all the 7 layer, you go from there. So layer 2 to layer 7, or if you're looking to the TCP stack, you are looking into is like complete all the different kind of like layers, whether it's application all the way to the like your link layer, infrastructure layer, you are or IP layer, you are session layer, presentation layer. You are all like pulling it into all those telemetry together to do the analytics and then detecting, proactively detecting the threats, and also using your ML to learn, and then AI to drive your context and situational awareness with the sparse noise reductions to monitor the background shift and pull all the results which are you're getting from dynamic threat model. Dynamic threat models is like there are certain things you don't need machine learning and AI to tell you it's a bad already. If somebody has RDP open to the public, they are doing like multiple horizontal and vertical scans in there, SMB open to the public. The people are trying to do a lot of login failure, login and trying to brute forcing and not knowing what they are doing. you want to clean that up. You don't need machine learning and AI to tell you, it's a bad. So those things you want to make sure that, it's already take a kind of more like, Iron Man approach where you are learning from the environment. You are knowing that what is going in your environment with the ML AI dynamic threat model, what is happening right now, what has happened in the past. And past should not be like, oh, I'm looking for 1 day, 1 month. It should be as long as uh, you can go back, because a lot of these threat actors, they are not in a hurry, because these threat actor industry is not being run by one particular kind of like, a person or one particular company, because what they have is they also have segmented like set of the people. So some people is to just kind of breach in into your organization, then they sell that, it's like that, hey, I already have a foothold into this organization. They sell it to the other group that, hey, now you can go in and you can discover the assets, and you can take it over. So sometimes, those, you will hear that ransomware attack, it does not happen that, hey, you got something and it's within like, 5-10 minutes or hour, the breach has been kind of like successfully executed, that they have collected all the data, exfiltrated and all that. That rarely happen. And if that is happening, that is the group which is like, it's a small group which is kind of trying to cause some panic. The bigger group is always that they have a, like different people doing different set of the things in there, and they sell that, hey, I got hold, I got data collection, somebody will do the exfiltration, then there is another set of the people who will do the negotiations and all that, and everybody get paid their fair share of the money. So you just want to make sure that, hey, just understand that context is very important, and context you should be always able to look. APTs were always like, not in hurry, but the same thing, ransomware groups are also a lot of time not in the hurry to get in and out, because even collect the data and exfiltrate, it takes time, because you might not have like a 100 gig bandwidth available for them to take multiple terabyte of data quickly. So that's something you should keep in mind. Okay, so second platform point of view, that definitely see the platform is done from the get-go to give you like, your whole holistic cybersecurity. So you get your comprehensive visibility, proactive detection, automated real-time containment elimination. Basically, that's a SOAR playbook and all that. And then you need continuous compliance. One of the things I do want to point out, cybersecurity, once again, we started with, is all about your risk reductions and then meeting any of the compliance without breaking your bank. That's what you want to do. And that is not only because cybersecurity should not be just seen as a cost center for the organization. Cybersecurity, having a better cybersecurity can be your big differentiator as well. And it will be also a bottom line impact maker. And I'll tell you how it is, because let's say if you are spending, like take an example like $200,000 per year on your cybersecurity, including, it's like your all the tools which are in the detections domain, your compliance and all that in there. And all of a sudden, what you are able to do is you get a solution which is like, makes all of your people kind of like, be more efficient. Your compliance job, you don't have to kind of jump through the hoop and prepare like almost a couple of months to submit your auditors that, hey, all these data as evidence and all that. If you have a platform which is doing that automatically for you each and every day, you are compliance ready each and every day. And I'll show you guys that what we have done, because we already had all the digital telemetry. And one thing is also we are doing is, even for the part which are not digital, we are creating a playbook and workflow in the platform where you will be able to like even attach, and then AI will audit it to make sure that, hey, you are keeping up to date. And if you're not, it will just even send you a reminder that, hey, just update it. So one thing I want to point out, Definitely, Sakyan is a platform. It is done from the day one. So we did this platform development for the day one. It's not that, a lot of people right now, they are saying that, oh, we got a platform. And if you look into underneath the platform, it is basically it's like clues together, so multiple products being closed together by APIs to kind of try to get a platform, because that one also does not give you the context and situational awareness. So you are as good as common minimum denominator. So if one of the those 10 products is working on 5 minutes window or 3 minutes window, you are as good at that window. That's it. You don't have any major like in a view of how long that threat has been there, because you are looking into either that 5 minute, 3 minutes window. That's what you are looking at it. So it's a platform. I'll show you guys as well a little bit demo in there. Okay. It is uh, think about that. It's a multi-layer defense in a depth single platform. That's what you get with the Sakyan. So Sakyan is all about giving you multi-layer. As I mentioned, that if you look into SI, you are layer 2 to layer 7. And one of the things I'll mention to you, one of my partner, just like a couple of days back, he reached out and he has many big wins, many big wins across those the banks and all that. And as he was sharing some good news with me, and I said, okay. Uh, I asked him like how everything is going, and he says like everything is going fantastic. I'm going to have a lot of big wins and all that in there. And he was talking about some places he has been working. He has done some POV. He's doing some POV, POC, and all that. So and those ones he is replacing those traditional tool and the multiple tools there as well. So I ask like how you are kind of like able to show the value what you bring on the table, because a lot of those big companies are very well known. There are like hundreds of billions of dollar valuations and all that in there. So how you are able to do? And he said, you know what, Chandra, now instead of me telling something, what I do is I have them ask those questions that, hey, what are the things you get if you combined like, network telemetry, network flows, like whether like your perimeter flows as well as your east-west flows, what is happening across the organization into your like, correlation with your all the logs and identities. So same kind of ingest. What happened with that? And then he said, instead of me doing the work, let the Gemini or one of those, like a tool, they show them that, hey, what you are missing if you don't do this thing. And all of a sudden is like everybody, okay, we need this tool. So, and then once he does the POV, POC, it kind of like uh, blows their mind out. So that's something I just wanted to share with you, that instead of you kind of hearing somebody telling, just like take the tools and ask that, hey, if you have a perimeter flows as well as your east west flows for organization, and if that is being correlated with your all the telemetry being generated within the organizations as well as your identities, what happens. And if you don't have those flows, what happens without that? And you can clearly see that people will understand, and then they will start taking action. So that was really interesting things he showed me as well, and then what he had been using. So he just tells them, just type it and you see it yourself. I don't have to talk about it. So definitely with the Sakyan platform, you get all of these capability in the single platform. You don't have to go and buy these different tools. But the one thing is, even if you bought all these tools in there, if they run on their silos, you are not going to have effective security. So you can spend multiple millions of dollars and still may not get better security if these things are not working in the common context and situational awareness. So there's like almost 20 plus things, and there will be other definition will come in the future, which is also in the platform, already in the platform. That's what it is.
Yeah. Mr. Chandra, so sorry to interrupt. I'm
Yeah,
going
go
to launch
ahead.
a, yeah, I'm going to launch one poll. right now, and I need another poll right after this because I noticed that
Yeah,
there's another slide which will be interesting after this. So I have a poll which will kind of, give a heads up to that. So just give me 2 minutes, sir, if that's okay with you.
go ahead, go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So let me launch the first poll for you guys. Audience, I hope you're able to see this on your screen. So, we've been talking about cybersecurity so far, right? Now, there's a little more to this as we go forward. We will talk about AI, we will talk about ML, how it basically impacts. But let us talk about this poll here. What's your organization's primary focus for a proactive cybersecurity approach? So, this is a multiple choice question, guys. So, you can choose more than one option over here. Now let's see how exactly this weighs out. We'd like to see max engagement on this poll. There's only about three so far. Okay, five. Okay, it's picking up. Meeting industry standards and compliance is what I see is topping at this point. Okay, okay. Increasing visibility into threats. Okay. I honestly think increasing visibility into threats is actually a very important thing when it comes to proactive cybersecurity approach. Mr. Chandra, would you like to comment something on this?
You see, Miss, like I think everything you have it over here. Those are all of them are pretty important. That's right. As
Right,
you know,
right.
it's like see, effectively, you want all of these things to be happening in your organizations
Correct.
concurrently. Concurrently they have to happen. Because it's not one versus other. So that's what it is. And it's a really great set of the question you ask, and that kind of make
Right,
you
sir.
think, pause and think about it.
Correct, correct. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'm going to launch one more poll, guys, for all of you, since we have something related to this in the next slide. Okay, so talking about AI and ML, which is the two big things at this point, right? Which area of cybersecurity do you think has the most potential for AI and ML applications? Okay, two of them have straight away said all of the above. All right, which is true, I believe. But is there something that you think weighs out the other one? For example, one of it is more important than the other. One of it has more potential than the other instead of all of the above. So we see threat detection and analysis. We also see incident response and automation. Predictive risk assessment. Okay, one of them have selected that. Compliance and monitoring. Okay, I think this one's a pretty straightforward question, but what I did want to know is what do you think weighs out more? Is something that I wanted to know, but I think we will. Okay, some of them are still inputting. Okay, how about we give you guys another 15 seconds, then I end the poll. Can we have a few more responses, guys? Okay, I think I'll end the poll here. All right. Yeah, we got one response. We'll end the poll and I'm going to quickly share the results for all of you to take a look at this, post which we will move into the next slide. Okay, so I think Mr. Chandra can definitely talk more about this in the next slide. So I'm going to stop sharing this right here and over to you, sir. You can go to the next slide.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. So if you look into Miss this slide, just mostly is like it talks about that, we collect all your telemetry, whether it's like as I mentioned that, your DNS, DSCP, domain controller, vulnerability, your database, threat intelligence, we bring it like, a lot of our own threat intelligence in there, probably 100 plus sources, many government sources. We also generate our own threat intelligence. Your EDR APP, whether you are using ours or you have existing your SaaS infrastructure as a service or platform as a service from any cloud, your firewalls, VPNs, and all that. And this can be your GTNA as well, SASEs and all that in their identities, your OS related telemetry, which is logs and all that. And then your network logs and flows. Everything kind of get collected. We extract like couple of thousand features, 1046 features, 2046 features, and then they go through a lot of enrichment, 26 million plus enrichment. And then after that, dynamic threat model, as I mentioned, is looking for what is no. Machine learning is looking from the behavioral point of view. AI with actionable intelligence has two parts. AI is looking for the sparse noise reduction from the background shift, and so it's reducing that sparse noise and just checking the background shift. And the actionable part pulls all these three results together. What is happening right now, what has happened in the past in your organization, as long as the product has been in your environment, and what is happening around the globe with the threat intelligence. If all those five things combine together, alert comes out, auto remediation engine get called to generate the policy. And that policy can be that, hey, you apply something on firewall, you go and take care of things on the endpoint, which might be kill the process, quarantine file, or quarantine the host, or you might be disabling somebody's credential, kicking them out of the environment, and they will be reissue the credential. The legitimate user will be reissue the credentials and all that. If somebody email is compromised, you are disabling their email accounts and all that. This engine, advanced real-time correlation engine, is nothing but it shows which human can understand, take actions on those ones in there that, what they want to see in the future going forward. So that's what it is. And there's certain things you want to see, certain things you don't want to see. You can give that feedback as well so that you don't see going forward in there. And then analytics give you capability to meet any reporting, compliance, and all that, and also that to the team. So you get 360-degree visibility, proactive detections, remediation, and meet any compliance requirement. And you are always being more efficient. You don't want to kind of keep on doing L1, L2. You become expert into the platform. So platform does not want you to be L1, L2 person. It want you to be the subject matter expert on the security. That's what platform let you do. Few things I wanted to do before I will just I just want to make sure that definitely there's some definitions over here that what is happening with whether you are using pattern recognition, continuous learning, predictive analytics, and all that in there. But what I want to do is I want to make sure that I show you guys the platform as well. Definitely one thing also we have introduced that now we give you a security score 360. And what does it means is your inside as well as your complete kind of like public view, whether it's a dark web, whether you are looking into is like your DNS or your SSL certificate, application misconfigurations, your all the CVEs which are exposed and all that, it get pulled together. You get your comprehensive view of those, and you can get the trend as well in there, so that you get a good score in there to look into it and take actions to go from that. Definitely, we have BI 360 in the platform, which gives you capability to see any of the compliance you want to activate in your environment, any framework you want to activate, and also that as well in there. One of the things you do want to make sure that you'll hear XDR, very common things people use it, that everybody is EDR plus anything is XDR. Some people will do the EDR plus some identity merge and they'll say I got XDR. Some people will do EDR plus let's say firewall logs, and they'll say I got the XDR. So you just have to keep in mind that all the XDRs are not the same. So you have to just keep EDR plus anything else is XDR in that, the common word in there. From the second point of view, everything combined together, even your scorecard is like part of it now. So all of those things combined together is what we call XDR 360. Most of our customer in the US, when they launch offer advanced cybersecurity services on the second platform, they always call it XDR 360. They will put some name in XDR 360. And the reason is it's not only a SOC, because they are doing SOC is probably 10% of the work. They are doing a lot more than the SOC, and that's why they call it XDR 360. One of the things what I want to do is I just want to show you guys a little bit of demo. Any question, just go and ask, and then I want to show you the real product as well, guys. So go ahead
Sure.
and ask any questions before I kind of show you the real product, what is happening there.
Yeah. Audience, any questions at this point regarding the presentation, anything that you'd like to shoot across to our speaker?
Siddhartha, Anjana has raised her hand.
Okay, I think I noticed that. Ms. Anjana, is there anything that you'd like to ask Mr. Chandra? In fact, if you'd like to directly interact with him, I can do that. Instead of having to chat or type, I can do that. Would you like to interact with Mr. Chandra directly?
Yeah, no worries. So if Sidan have a question, let me just show
Sure.
well, some of the things what we were talking about. So if you remember, it's very easy to say what you do all the things in there, but when you have to kind of really go in over here, so see in the platform, I just want to orient people a little bit, and then I'll go more on the continuous detections, protections, and all that, and then compliance. So if you look into here, analytics and insight section, these two section is all about like your real-time monitoring and giving you comprehensive visualizations and all the analytics in there. And here you can do a lot of things by yourself, but I'll kind of show you guys later on that what you can do. Here, these two section is all about proactive threat detections. You can do your threat hunting and all that in there. You can define certain things, but you can have your playbook to remediate the threats automatically, auto remediation or playbook based remediation, push button remediation. Then, as we were talking about, that you can have any of the security kind of like a score 360 as well as uh, any dashboard and reports compliance you want to implement, you can get it through the BI 360, and I'll show you that as well. And these are the real-time implementation and collections of the telemetry and showcasing them. And I'll go into these sections. Once anybody has the platform, most of their time, 90% of the time of a security expert goes into these two sections. This is where they do spend their time. This is where you show that, hey, why you should be appreciated, why, you should be paid and all that in there. So this is the section you show that work you are doing. This section is you are setting up the how you want to see the things and all that, what are the things you want to do. This section is like who's getting notification. If you want to scan something, you want to kind of send out reports and all that, how you are sending those ones out there. And this section is all the telemetry. It shows you like, hey, what are you bringing into the system, what is active, and if there's something not working as expected, and you can monitor all the health and all that of the things you have in your environment. Okay. Now let me go back over here, just start from the dashboard. So you see, it's a pretty unique thing that in the Sakyan's case, you are able to kind of bring all the things together. So all those 16, 18 different things we talked about, whether it's a cloud security or endpoint security or NDR, your SIEM, your SOAR, your IDS functionality, everything you are able to do into the single platform. Here, you might say that, oh, this is very clumsy dashboard, because I don't want to see all these things. You have a capability to very easily go ahead and delete these things and add anything you want as well. So see here, you have a delete in over here, and you have been already given the multiple hundred. If you look into here, more than 1,400 things to you can add of your own choice. You see over here, these are already created. So you can add of those your own choice, or if you want, you can create something of your own as well. That's right. So you have a capability to not only just do that, but also add of your own as well in there. So that's what you have in the platform. Okay. Now, other thing I wanted to see, similarly, if you have any cloud, you don't have to go and buy separate cloud security and then separate it's like SaaS security. All of that thing is already happening in the platform. Similarly, if you have a user behavior, you are looking, host behavior, you are looking, you want to publish your own dashboard, you can publish any of the dashboard you want. And you can just bring in, like, let's say if I want to say the scorecard 360 dashboard, I am able to bring that dashboard over here. Hey, what is happening across everywhere? What are the vulnerability exposed? What are the things are like, if somebody's credential has been like somewhere breach and all that, you are able to see those ones in there. You have your internal security postures, what is happening around there as well. That's right. Similarly, now, if you wanted to do forensic, you can have data up to 7 years worth of the data you can bring and you can do your forensic over here. Okay. Now, from the visualization point of view, you can visualize everything. You can look into all the application services, it's like pull together. You can see the patterns of the things, what is happening in there. You can drill down to the individual user application services processes as well in there. You can see what is really they are running and all that, because platform is tracking those for machine learning AI point of view as well. You can also analyze anything you want on the environment, what is happening across that as well in there. So you have all those capability. You have your graph capability that, from the graphing point of view, you can go in and just see everything what is happening in the organization. You can just click few clicks in there and nothing is hidden from you. So anything you can think about, you have a capability to look into all the application services processes, any threats associated with that. Now, as I mentioned, most of your time will get spent over here. So in these two sections, so you have a capability to go up to 180 days, pretty much. Same team, like let's look into over here, any one of these threats, we want to look into it. This is what I was talking about, MITRE ATT&CK framework. So as you can see here, if somebody is doing the recon, they are doing resource development, initial access, some executions they are doing, some persistence they are creating. So they create the persistence and they will sell that persistence to there. Somebody is kind of comes in, does privilege escalation, trying to do some defense evasions and all that in there. And it's a credential access discovery, lateral movement. Then you can see here collections, and then after that command and control and exfiltration comes in there. So the point is, if you kill any of these threats into first 5, 6 stages, no damage will be done. One other thing I want to point out. So as you see, even this alert came out on 13th. What the platform is doing is, like, platform is saying that, hey, I have collected and tracked this thing for much longer period of time, because there are evidence that some of the things which are happening on 15th of this October, those are also relevant into it, and it all has been pulled together. That's right. This is something nobody in the industry can do it automatically. They just kind of like expect a human to come in and do it from different sources. Here also, as you can see, all the different sources are being pulled together. In other case, what will happen is you will have to do it. A human will have to do that work. So that's something you want to avoid it. Okay. Other thing is, now you have done this thing, you want to kind of take a action. So you can have your incident package, you can just download from here. You can go and apply a playbook over here. Let's say if I go over here, you can just apply a playbook and say, hey, I want to run this playbook and deploy it. So you can just do that playbook deployment from here itself, or you can say, okay, you know what, let me do auto remediation over here, or push button remediation. Now, if you go over here, think about that, reducing your risk point of view. You are doing a push button, as well as I'll show you that you can do all this automatically as well. Okay. So you see, for Fortinet, the policy, you don't have to know what the Fortinet, how it does and all that. It's a platform has generated. Similarly, for any of the firewall, you can have Palo Alto, SonicWall, Fortinet, Checkpoint, it's like your other vendors, you have those ones also is all supported. And also the EDR rule also is going to, like, hey, these are the processes. It also shows you the path which need to be quarantined and all that in there. And it says which a host is impacted. So it's somebody's laptop which is impacted over there. So let's say I took actions in there. Also, what you can do is you can see here, you can assign this work there as well. But one thing I wanted to show you guys, which is very important, this is very unique to like what we do. Nobody else has anything like that. So that one is you can also go ahead and take a, like, let's say take a, this one actions in there. So if I go over here to do some alert, looking to from the alert point of view. So if I got 60 days, let me show you something to you guys. So let's say some of these alerts, let's say if I go over here, I just wanted to show you guys what has happened. If I go into the alert timeline, as you can see over here, this alert came in. There was auto remediation was done by SOAR policy. So there was no human was involved. This thing happened in the middle of night. As you can see, it's like 2:56 a.m. So it's the middle of night, it is happening and it is getting auto remediated. You see my point? So that thing happened, and you see here, this is some public IPs which are getting blocked, So that's, I think I wanted to point out that, those things happen automatically. And now let's say you decided that, oh, you know what? I just wanted to roll it back. You can roll it back as well. So platform has the intelligence and power to roll it back as well. So that kind of capability, nobody in the industry has it, because you need a lot of brain power into the platform to do that, that's what it is. Similarly, if you look into over here, now let's see that here, you see what has happened, and then what are the things are kind of taking it over there, as you can see what is happening associated with that, okay? Now, let me go in and show you something, because I want to show you guys, because this session is not only about, having your risk reduction, but the compliance as well. So I want to show you some of the compliance capability over here. So let's say you are looking for RBI compliance, okay? But these things are being generated automatically in the platform now once you have deployed. So it's so that, hey, what are all the things you government require from the RBI point of view? If you are like level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, whatever the bank you are, now you can see what are the things you are able to meet out the platform automatically. And here it's also shows the chart, but as you go into the bottom, it shows all the evidence. So now what happens is you do not have to go in and keep on chasing, doing a preparation and all that. All the things are ready in front of you. And you can also download over here, you can create your PDF report and go from that, So those things you have, this was just a one example in there. Let's say if you have a HIPAA, let's take a PCI DSS. So if I go PCI DSS, same thing. Now you have is over here is 87. Out of that, 78% of the things platform does it by itself. It's like I'm using a browser which is not recommended. So it just keeps on jumping off of that, but that's what it is. So like, the point I was making it, now you don't have to go in and keep on using a different tool. You are able to do all of that things from here itself. You can download this report. Let's say if I just downloaded the report, it is now creating it live right now. And then at the now reports comes out, now you have a ready-made reports to go. It's like, or if you just wanted to take a complete evidence, now you can take all the evidence in there. So if I share my screen, you guys will see that, there is a report which has been already generated, hopefully people are able to see the report. So as you kind of see that that report is now ready, so you are able to kind of go, it just got created right now for this period, 7 to 14th, makes sense. And you can kind of take it in there and it's generated just now. So you are able to take it. You can see what are the compliance are there or the details behind it and all that in there. So the point is, see, your compliance does not have to be outside that your comprehensive cybersecurity framework, and it doesn't have to be costly affair that you have to go and buy like, the tools which are hundreds of thousands of dollars separately. You can do with the platform uh, much more efficiently instead of doing a lot of manual work. So that's something I just wanted to make sure you guys know that, hey, that capability is already built in the platform. Okay. Make sense? Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, sir.
Yeah.
Audience, I think there were a few people who are still asking questions, unless you would like
Yeah,
to
so we will
show.
pause over here and let you guys ask questions, because one thing I wanted to point out that look, in this place you have hundreds of like framework report. You are looking ISO 27000, you are looking in NIST. All of those things are already now put into the platform. Another thing is we are putting even a workflow, so the even the processes you have and people and processes, you will be able to like send it into, or it will send you a reminder and it will attach it. So you will have all the evidence created one place. You don't have to go and get any other platform to do it. And that's something, we have been working on for like almost for a, like let's say a year, and now it is coming to the fruition, because as you can see, all of these reports are like coming in now. And then these will get into the framework. So when you come into the framework, one thing I wanted to show you. So let's say you have this playbook. There will be similar. You will have a here. There will be something called like a security framework. In that security framework, it will not be only those digital evidence we are creating, but you will be also able to bring any of those, like the physical, that, oh, I have a lock into my office, or I have my cabinets, I keep it locked and all that in there. So those evidence you will be able to upload, download, and then AI will do the monitoring. So there are two parts to the AI. One of the things I do wanted to make sure that we cover a little bit over here. So let's say, any threat we went in there, there is a AI part which is already over here, which has put all the context machine learning. And then there is a Gen AI. So if you go over here, this is a Sera AI on the top, is a Gen AI, which makes like any of the like security as well as compliance and risk management people to understand the context of what is being presented. Okay. So you don't have to be expert going forward, because the Sarah AI is the expert, which is interpreting the data and going to present in a form which anybody easily can understand. So once you see that the results comes out right now, it's analyzing all those thousands of the telemetry to give you a perspective of it. And then it will also show that, hey, which actor groups are involved in your organization as well. So you are going to see that information as well in there. Similarly, when you have a Sarah AI working on your compliance, it is going to say that, hey, whether you have given the right information, as well as uh, you have updated it on the timely basis or not. So you can see it's like giving all the details. It also shows that, hey, what are the things that happen in there, see MITRE techniques and all that it has in there. And then as you go in, which are the attacker groups are involved. So you can see that, it's saying that, hey, FIN7 is a higher confidence that this is a FIN7 group, which is like, trying to do something. And then you have, Carbonac as well as APT41. And these like confidences are a little lower, but this one is higher, as you can see. And this kind of gives you quite a bit of the things in there. That's right. And it also gives you like more explanation about it as well in there. And you can think about that, where those groups have been more active and all that in there. So you are able to give that kind of context. And then what is the recommendation? So all of a sudden, what you have been given is, you have given without being a security experts, you are able to get the information to help you understand, become a smarter each and every day. Make sense? I will pause over here and let the people ask the questions.
Sure, sir. Sure. Okay. So I think there was Ms. Han. Excuse me. Miss Anjana, who wanted to ask something. Miss Anjana, are you still around? We can. Oh, yeah, she's there. Okay, I'm just going to quickly allow you to talk. You should be able to unmute. Yeah, you can unmute now. Miss Anjana?
It looks like she's probably not able
Uh,
to talk.
Looks like it. Miss Anjana, are you able to type something? Because I know you reverted a little earlier. But we have given you permission to unmute. You should be able to do that actually. But okay, I think in the meantime, I just want to quickly check if there's any other queries. Okay, it's okay. All right, she says it's okay. So I'm all right. Okay, not a problem. Okay. So audience, if there's anyone else who have any other questions, I think we'll give them another 5 minutes, sir, if that's okay.
Yeah,
To
yeah. Let's give, and people can even, if they you can unmute, that's good.
surely,
Otherwise,
yes, yes,
they can also type the question. We can
absolutely,
discuss it.
absolutely. Audience,
Yeah.
if there's anyone who has questions, feel free to simply use the raise hand feature. I'll be able to unmute you and you can interact, ask any sort of queries there is. Now we'll give you a little time, but what I'm going to quickly do is I'm going to have one last poll for you. Okay, this is not going to be on Zoom. I request all of you to check your chat right away. We have a LinkedIn poll that's been live for quite a while now. I request all of you to spend about 5 to 10 seconds, head to the link, take the question and come back. Okay. I hope you're able to see this on your chat. Let me read out the question for the rest of them. Now, this kind of sums up the entire webinar essentially. In your view, what is the biggest benefit of a proactive cybersecurity and compliance approach? There are four options. I request all of you to try and take it and come back to our screen. Okay. And I'd also like to quickly, uh, just a minute. Okay. All right. So I'm also going to uh, paste the link to Mr. Chandra's LinkedIn account. Those of you who'd like to interact with him or stay connected with him, please feel free to do so. You can find the link on the chat to his LinkedIn account. All right. Let me just quickly check if we've had any responses on the poll. All right, cool. There's some responses, which is nice to see. Okay. Now you can also feel free to follow us. We also have blogs and stuff that are commonly posted and related to the topic that we spoke about. So feel free to follow us. Okay, audience, any questions there is? We still have about 21, 22 people who are sticking around. Any questions at all?
Yeah, I think just like on the closing, one thing I will share that
Sure,
look,
sir, sure.
yeah, from the cybersecurity point of view, one thing everybody should realize that, it's like risk as well as compliance goes in hand, So you want to always look into how to reduce your cybersecurity risks significantly. And then approach, as I mentioned, that, if you look into the 5 years back, everybody is a best of breed, this and that. Now that has changed because you can have the best of the any breed product in there and things will get around it. Threat actors will get through your environment, and then breach and take the data out. So you always have to keep in mind that, how I can have in my environment where everything is like, being watched in the common context. If you don't have that, it's like no matter how good a product you have and how many people, experts you have, just matter of time you will get breached, So that's something to keep in mind. And that's why if you see every company now today talks, like anybody meaningful company in the cybersecurity, everybody talks about the platform. In the last couple of years, that tune has changed. That platform is the only way, because any of those companies, they know that there are thousands and thousands of customers have been breached. Uh, they have either ransomware attack or many other attacks. Those breaches which does not even get announced. One of the things I do will say are that intellectual property breaches, confidential and trade secrets, and all those you steal, they typically does not get kind of like reported, because there is a no requirement, and in fact sometimes government discourages it to report it, because that may cause them even bigger damage. Because think about that, if you are a Moderna, and if your intellectual property is stolen, now people will say, oh, why I need the Moderna vaccine? I can get it from somewhere else, much more lower cost. So you always have to be very careful that, you have to, if you are an organization involved into a lot of fundamental research, as well as, it's like creating something of much more bigger value, think about those intellectual property, how to protect and all that. And the compliance is like you don't want to have a separate kind of like a compliance which is made up and all that. You want to have a real evidence and a real kind of like, protection driving your compliance. So that way, being compliant, a lot of time people will use the phrase that being compliant does not mean you have a good security. What you want to do as a security professional, you want to make sure that, hey, I have a good security, which means I have a pretty much is like, real time continuous compliance monitoring. And if something goes off, I'm able to take care of that. Because all the compliance framework and the regulatory framework is made to like help you become more resilient as well as secure. But what the people did, it people figure it out like how to get around it. So your goal should not be that. Your goal should be that, hey, get the best cyber security, which drives your continuous compliance, and you don't have to kind of jump through the hoop to get ready for compliance audits and all that. So that's something I'll share. And one of the things is like now, if you go and check with any of the big company which are talking the cybersecurity, like, hey, we have a platform. They are trying to close together by three, four, five companies and trying to close together to create a platform, which does not give you a common context. But that's what it is, because a lot of cybersecurity professional also does not ask those deep questions, because sometimes they are overworked, or sometimes they are not thinking that, hey, how you are bringing the common context across that. And sometimes even those groups, the most different five companies they have bought, those groups does not come to kind of like work together. I asked some big vendor a question last week that, hey, you got this company, how you are guys correlating it all together? So, they share some feedback time to time, but it's like, it's not working together. So that's something you have to always keep in mind that, hey, do not get kind of like, lost into those buzzwords that, hey, we got a platform. Because sometimes, you have to ask a little bit deeper questions, and that will give you idea that what is really happening and what is the reality and what is the truth. Uh, so that way you don't get kind of like, duped into believing in something which is not really the case. Okay. So I just wanted to share with you guys, because I have been kind of like, having a discussion with, like probably this year I had uh, thousands of discussion with the customers as well as the partners, multiple 100 partners. And it is really clear that what the people are looking, what they are getting and all that. And you always want to make sure that, hey, cybersecurity should not be a huge cost as well. One of the things is like, if you look into the Secyan, if you have equivalent kind of like a stack, try to bring it together. Some of the Secyan partners, they go to the customer and say, hey, look, bring your equivalent stack. We will kind of reduce your cost minimum by 40% and give you a better security. Do the POB, POC, and just look it for yourself. And then let's say if you are like, even don't want to change it, just take our quote and just go and ask your existing vendor to give you that 40% saving. So at least you end up saving and looking a hero to your organization as well. I'm pretty sure, it's like, it's not that easy to do for any organization, but, they are helping many customers kind of realize the saving, either going with them or like, trying to reduce the cost of their stack before they move into their platform. So their solutions. So that's something I just wanted to share with the team as well. Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot. And
Absolutely,
it
sir.
was really great. It was really great to kind of like, share some of the things what I have learned. And believe me, like one thing I will say that I don't know everything, because I keep on learning each and every day. So there is a lot of opportunity to learn. And our competition is not a company A, company B. Our competition is the threat actor. So we always have to look into the threat actors, what they are kind of doing to uh, kind of uh, like it's like it's like evade the detections and all that. So we always are looking into how to innovate, how to catch them into early steps and stages. There is some questions like somebody is asking a question. Raju sir, you want to ask a question?
Yeah, let me just check. Mr. Raju, the question that you have, you can actually unmute. I hope you're able to see the unmute option.
Yeah, I think he's not able to
Oh,
unmute.
yeah. Okay, we can hear
Yeah,
you,
go ahead,
Mr. Raju.
Raju sir.
Mr. Raju, we can hear you. We can hear.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Raju, you can go ahead.
Hello. Hello.
I
Mr.
think he has
Raju, yeah,
Can you hear us?
there's some distraction in your background. We can
Yeah,
hear
go
you.
ahead, Raj. Yeah, Rajuji, go ahead, ask your question, sir. Yeah, or share your thought.
Sir, it was a great experience attending this webinar.
All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Raju. Thanks for that.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Hello. Sudeep,
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Sudeep, wait, some no,
Let me
wait,
just.
some network.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think on that note, we can close the session. We still have 19 people who are still around. But I think that purely goes to the presentation that you gave and the quick glimpse of the platform as well, sir. So thank you so much for your time. I know it's really early for you at that back in Boston, but thank you so much for your time, sir. I look forward to having you back on another webinar. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Thank
It
you
was
all and have
great
a
to. Yeah, go
yes,
ahead,
sir.
sir.
No,
Thank
no,
you.
I'm sorry, sir. Please go ahead. Yeah.
No, I said it was an honor to be with you and the rest of the people who had joined. And definitely one thing I will always say that look, we keep on working day and night to make sure that people get the comprehensive cybersecurity, meet any compliance requirement at the cost they can afford. So the goal is not to kind of make this kind of a platform which is like out of reach of the most of the customer, because it is like you get the best of the cybersecurity as a affordable cost. And that has been our goal from the day one we started the company. It's like my goal was to make it affordable for anybody who wants to have a better security. And then also, like as we move ahead, that hey, let's make sure that they are able to meet all the compliance requirement. Uh, Automatically without spending breaking their bank, because you see at the end the economy is run by these organizations. So like cybersecurity company is not which driving cybersecurity company is a uh, like assisting these organizations to keep on driving the economy and all that. So we want to do our part into the growth of the economy and make sure that people focus on their core business instead of worrying and getting breach and then going through the hoops. And most of this small and medium businesses, sometimes they get out of the business because after the breach and all that. and our goal is to make sure they don't have to go through that. So that's what it is. I just wanted to share that view,
Thank you so
Okay.
much, sir. Very enlightening. Thank you so much. And on that note, I think we can close the session for today, sir.
Thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
everyone.
Thank you all, and thanks all for attending. And Mr. Chandra, have a wonderful day ahead, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.